stop trying to put real standards of real people in real situations on fictional characters. It's called fiction for a reason.
Huh? Kaboom!
Her name is the background NPC. She came out with another video and I was really curious about it. And this one is called, Is It So Wrong to Just Want Attractive Characters? So let's watch it. This one's really good. I'm excited to hear what she has to say.
And all of this is why I just do not understand why some developers keep getting it wrong. It really feels so simple. Yes, give us great gameplay, fun mechanics, a interesting and meaningful story, but then layer attractive, pretty characters on top of that to create hype around the game, grab our interest, and hold our attention. All of this just makes for a much more enjoyable experience. So this video is—
She is right. I see no lies detected. She's already cooking. It's only been 24 seconds, and just facts.
Kind of related to my very first video about women in games, but before we get into it, we have to acknowledge everybody that is subscribed to the channel.
Let's go!
Wow, honestly, I don't really even know what to say. This has been such a overwhelming week in the best way.
Take another subscribe. Take that, lady.
But thank you. Thank you to every single one of you for all of the comments and messages and just all of the support. Now, let's talk about hot characters. I've always found it very interesting when I see some gamers say, I don't care what my character looks like, I just want a good game. And while, sure, I believe some people probably do feel that way, when you actually—
I think the reason that this is said, by the way, I think the reason that people say, like, it doesn't matter what the character looks like, I just want the game to be good, the reason why is because there's another stereotype that has existed where the character will be really attractive and it doesn't, like, it is done so because all of the budget went into making the character hot because the game is not good. There's some types of games where they make the characters, like, really attractive. Like some of the bad Gamba games, for example, like some of the bad gacha games. So I think when people say this, they're talking specifically, they're like vague posting, which is why, like, it's not applying to other scenarios. It's applying to games where they made the character attractive in order to pull people in, but there's no depth in the game at all. Does that make sense? It's not the same as like Stellar Blade or Bayonetta where the characters are hot and the gameplay's good. I think when people say this in a rational way, right? Like the people that are in good faith saying this, when they're saying it, they're meaning, like, I don't want a game where the characters look hot and the gameplay is bad. There's no plot. There's just empty characters that are husks of beings. And because they're advertised as being attractive, people bought the game. You know what I mean? Yeah, like a lot of phone games do that, right? So you need both. I think, like, this is me, again, taking it in good faith. I think that's why this is said.
What my character looks like, I just want a good game. And while, sure, I believe some people probably do feel that way, when you actually look around at what's successful and what's not, what resonates and what doesn't, the idea that visuals don't matter, it doesn't really hold up. The second you start digging—
No, I think both of it matters. She has a good point. And I think more than not, of recent, the games that we've seen have been not wanting attractive characters or personalities, right? You gotta have both.
Into this stuff, it's pretty clear. Visuals
Both.
play a huge role in whether something hits or flops. And if they didn't, cosmetics probably wouldn't be one of the most profitable parts of the entire gaming industry.
Very
The truth
true.
is, I think most of us do care, even if it's subconsciously. And this isn't just a gaming thing, but for whatever reason, the gaming—
Listen, if you have to compromise on either of them, then the company doesn't deserve your money, okay? If you can have hot characters, but there's no interesting plot and the gameplay is ass, or you can have a good game, but all the characters are unrelatable, you can't identify with them at all, and you can't have anything you can relate to or attach yourself to. If you can't be a hot badass, like you have to pick between those, then like L.
industry seems especially confused about it because books, anime, movies, shows, we care about how the characters look. We always have. Now, just to be clear, An attractive character cannot save bad writing or bad gameplay. A
Yes.
great design won't make a boring game fun, and
Yes.
eye candy is totally pointless if there's zero substance to back it up.
That's what I was talking about, by the way. Her last point. You gotta have all of it.
And on the opposite side, it's not like a game is necessarily doomed if the characters are uninspired or unattractive. But let's be honest, we have been done dirty quite a few
Yeah,
times.
we've been done especially dirty like this year. More so than any of the other archetypes. More so than like game has hot characters with nothing, you know, interesting to back it up. That's not this year's problem. This year's problem is you know, uninspired characters that nobody likes.
But when it does work, when you combine great writing, a solid gameplay, and a compelling visual design,
Yes,
it's really when the secret sauce hits. And that's when a character truly becomes iconic. So, how important
Very
is beauty
true.
really? What can it actually be used for in storytelling? And why does it matter at all? Yes, beauty is completely subjective, but let's
True.
try and figure it out together.
And there's several ways, like her example she used, there's several ways to make a character attractive. Like, they don't have to be cookie cutter attractive either.
Yes, beauty is completely subjective, but let's try and figure it out together.
I'll just give it to you guys how it is. There's an existence of a archetype of anime. All right? Harems exist. They have like several different archetypes of girls in those.
When it comes to storytelling, beauty isn't just about looking good, it's about what that beauty communicates. It's a kind of
True.
visual shorthand for personality, purpose, or the emotional tone of a character. Take Cortana from Halo. She's sleek, luminous, and kind of untouchable. Her ethereal design isn't random, it reinforces her role as an AI. She's
Yeah, and she's so pretty.
attractive, mysterious, highly advanced, but also just slightly out of reach. Or Aerith from Final Fantasy.
love it.
She's beautiful
Oh
and
my goodness. I think Aerith is just such a pretty character. She's so pretty. She's like a Disney princess, you know? Like,
this really soft,
Ah.
gentle way. Her design radiates hope and warmth, and you feel that when she's on screen. There's something very delicate and endearing about her that sticks with you.
I
Then,
just feel like she puts other Disney princesses to shame, man. This is what I imagine a princess to look like. I don't know.
there's Eve from Stellar Blade, and yeah, people definitely noticed her design pretty much immediately. She's bold, striking, and yes, super hot. But what's cool
That's great. More power to her. We should be able to have both. We should be able to have the beautiful princess, you know, Aerith. That looks sweet, kind-hearted, and feminine, and we should be able to have the lady badass that is hot.
is that once the
Both.
game launched, the gameplay actually backed it up. And okay, can we talk about Verso from Clair Obscur for a second? Because he is undeniably very handsome.
Oh my goodness. That entire game, every character in there is attractive. Or pretty, or just the entire game, the aesthetic, every single thing in it has like attractive people.
The white hair, the posture, the somber expression. He's restrained, haunted, and you immediately feel like there's something deeper going on.
He's very hot. He's so handsome. He's so pretty.
Characters aren't designed to just be pretty.
What a magical man.
They're designed with intention. Their looks are part of their emotional blueprint, and the fact that they're attractive is what actually initially draws you in. Their looks tell you how to feel before a single line of dialogue. As humans, we are biologically wired to respond to beauty, and that's not a bad thing.
What's wrong with bad-looking characters in games? Stop trying to put real standards of real people in real situations on fictional characters. It's called fiction for a reason.
So
Anyways,
when a character's design feels off or it doesn't match the story we're being told, that disconnect can make it way harder to emotionally connect. And
Very
this kind
true.
of visual storytelling has been around for ages. This is nothing new, and it's not just in games, it's everywhere, especially
Yep.
in film. Taking a look at Lord of the Rings, think about Aragorn. Rugged, attractive, weathered, and quietly noble. His entire look reflects the burden that he carries.
man, he's... Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The words she said, those ones are, yes, he's very...
and you can see the weight of his past just by looking at him. Then there's a
Yeah, that's what I'm paying attention to, surely, is the weight of what was she talking
Owen
about?
and Arwen, two beautiful women with totally different vibes. One is a warrior with conviction, the other is a very soft, ethereal queen. And their looks reflect who they are at their core. And that's what
It takes all kinds. It takes all kinds. Don't let them take any of these, from you. All kinds.
good design does. It supports the story.
Pretty girl.
All right, switching tones completely here, but I have to talk about my love for the Mummy series very quickly. Because Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz
Bro, the Mummy mentioned. Unexpected W. Talking about attractive characters and mentioning the Mummy. Like, this is incredibly based.
just very fun, flirty, iconic characters. They were extremely captivating. Their chemistry was off the charts, and they were both ridiculously attractive.
I didn't, honestly, I've seen this forever ago, but I forgot. Like, man, they're both pretty. They're such a pretty couple. Like, man, you could put them on top of the wedding cake, okay? Like, the little wedding toppers, those two. Jeez,
Okay? But their beauty didn't just decorate the film, it amplified it. The adventure they were on, the romance, the danger. I actually love this series so much. I used to work at the Mummy roller coaster at Universal.
What? That's so cool. This girl just gets cooler every the more she talks.
And I may or may not have hearing loss in my one ear, thanks to Brendan Fraser screaming for his coffee at the end of the ride.
Aw, man. That's so wholesome. What the heck? That's so wholesome. I had never thought of how much of a good example this is, though, too.
Just a little bit of NPC lore for you. So if we
Nice.
know that beauty helps tell the story, what about when it's entirely in the player's hands? Let's talk about character customization and the literal billions being spent on it. Video game cosmetics are a multi-billion-dollar industry. In fact, media research projects that purely cosmetic in-game purchases will reach $100 billion a year by 2028.
Yeah, because people like to express themselves in online games. Yeah. And also people like to be, like, cooler than ever physically possible in real life standards in games.
Let that sink in for a second. $100 billion a year.
It's called self-expression, and we all like doing it.
For making your character look nice. Listen,
Yeah.
all right, I am not ashamed that I myself played a part in this pretty recently. I hadn't touched Fortnite in like 7 or 8 years.
Bro, out of all the things to buy cosmetics, and it had to be Fortnite.
But I randomly started playing
M'lady.
duos again over the last few months, and pretty much right after I did, I saw none other than Spike Spiegel and Faye Valentine in the shop.
Oh, the Cowboy Bebop bro.
Yeah, I was buying up
I can respect it. I can respect it.
those V-Bucks pretty much immediately. It was just the
Yeah,
idea
classy.
of getting to play as some of the characters I love so much in a game that I've unironically been having a ton of fun with. It was almost
I'm joking, by the way. It's fine to buy cosmetics in Fortnite, but like, I could not imagine what she would buy. Like her, like from what I've heard of her so far, I was like, what did you spend money on in Fortnite? And then Cowboy Bebop mentioned, and it made a lot more sense.
like I had no choice here. Quick side note. Faye Valentine definitely goes on our list of amazing female characters, for sure.
True.
And I must confess, I also purchased the Sabrina Carpenter skin. Her dress was just so pretty. Now,
Didn't that skin go crazy? Like, all I saw was clips of Sabrina Carpenter, like, full lobbies.
on the flip side, the
was
opposite is
something.
true too. When character design fails to resonate, players clock it immediately. This is very old news
Yep.
at this point, but I always think about Concord. This was really the first time, at least for me, that I had seen so much public backlash about character design. And for
I agree. I feel like it was building up to that point, but this was, like, all of it manifested impressively bad.
Concord, yeah, it kind of seems like this was one of the biggest reasons that it flopped. People did
Yeah.
not like the characters. They felt awkward, uninspired, off-putting.
It also matters what genre it's in, too, right? Like, it's a hero shooter. The heroes have to look like somebody you want to play as.
Forced in a market full of games where the character designs are intended to be inherently beautiful, bold,
Yep.
attractive. Concord's cast kind of looked like they were built by a committee just to check boxes. And then there's Starfield. This game
Like, nobody
was
wants
supposed to
to.
be
Nobody wants to look like an NPC. That is not the fantasy, brother.
massive, story-rich, world-expanding.
The uncanny valley expressions in in this game.
But on top of just so-so
Look at this. Look at the eyes.
gameplay, the one thing I kept seeing over and over again was how unappealing, bland-looking, and emotionally empty the NPCs felt.
They looked gas. That was the funniest part of it, but it wasn't even stupid enough that it could save it. Like the funny jank about it wasn't even like redeemable.
didn't draw you in or match the tone of the world. For the most part, they were just generic copy paste that you didn't really want to engage with. Another game
Yep.
that comes to mind that I've mentioned before is Star Wars Outlaws. Unfortunately, both good gameplay and good character design were amiss here. And there were even moments where
Yep.
KS didn't look quite human, which
Oh my god, yeah, what the heck? There's no light behind those eyes. Jeez. Who's inside that uncanny, like, doesn't even, yeah. It definitely looks like soulless. Yeah, the abyss is staring back, and that is what it looks like. Jeez.
is very wild because her actress is so stunning. The blueprint was
Oh my god. How do you mess up this bad? How did you nerf her this bad? How do you go backwards? What in the world? She's so pretty.
right there, but for some reason,
How do you do this? She's so pretty. Look at the smile. How, oh.
I guess they couldn't make a character design that did her justice. And the disconnect across all of these examples is important to note because it's not just about realism, it's about relatability. Games are probably the biggest storytelling medium, and a character's design should invite you into the story. People want to feel something when they look at a character: excitement, admiration, curiosity. And
Yeah.
when what you're looking at feels flat, awkward, or overly ordinary, like someone you just passed by on the street, it breaks the fantasy. And that
It
desire
does.
for your character to look attractive and appealing, it starts even before the actual game begins. Take Baldur's Gate 3, for example. According to Larian, players collectively spent over 8,000 years just in the character creator.
I can believe it, man. I can believe it. But yeah, it's just like, if we wanted to be ordinary, we could do that any day of the week with a 9 to 5 job, okay? We already do that when we look in the mirror, brother.
That's like 16% of the game's total playtime before even starting the game. And yes, I did contribute to that.
These characters are so pretty. I love seeing characters that people make.
Because to me, character aesthetics are just part of the immersion. They're part of what makes an incredible game. They
Even when people make like cursed abominations in character creators, there's still an impossible standard of curse that you could never see in real life, you know? Like it's like you just got to go beyond mortal comprehension. No matter which way you slide the bar, it's got to be like absolute nightmare fuel capabilities or the hottest thing that could ever and never exist.
help me feel more emotionally anchored in the world and make for a way more enjoyable experience. And this goes for both male and female characters alike. Even in Red Dead Redemption 2, I loved getting to change Arthur's hair, his beard, and outfits, and I'm just so glad we got to do that because I really felt like I could reflect where he was at mentally.
Bro, if she has not played Lies of P, somebody please tell her about Lies of P. You can dress the pretty Pinocchio mans up in many different outfits if you beat the side bosses, okay? You can dress up the pretty mans in that game too, okay? She would love it.
And emotionally. That small touch made him feel a lot more real. Now, switching gears for a quick moment, bear with me here, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and out myself for a second. I love a good romantasy book. Yes, I know, but before you roll your eyes and you click off the video, please just
I'm another girl, so you haven't phased me any.
hear me out. This genre includes some of the best-selling books on the market. You maybe have heard of series like Throne of Glass or ACOTAR, and the characters in
All right, I gotta admit, chat. I realized even though I felt like a girl for a moment, I have never heard of these books, okay? I got no idea. Perhaps they are good.
these stories are described with this enchanted, ethereal kind of beauty. It's dramatic, it's swoony, it's meant to sweep you off your feet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is very romantic, very attractive characters on the cover. Sure, yeah.
And that's part of the fantasy. It's part of the immersion. There's even one fan favorite image of a certain ACOTAR character that went viral, and for many fans, that's basically canon now. Godspeed to whatever casting director has to find that guy in the real world. They will come for you. The exact same thing happens in anime and animation, sometimes even more intensely. These characters are designed from the ground up to be visually appealing. Their looks are exaggerated, idealized.
Oh my goodness. Distinguished. Very good choices.
Sometimes maybe a little too much, but
No, they're just fine.
we love them
Perfect.
for it. And there's a reason that certain characters dominate cosplay every con season, or why fans fight over who's best girl or best boy with genuine passion. Even in the VTuber space, visual design is everything. And there's a reason
Oh, what? Smug? Random smug? Let's go. That's the Smuggalanas. Yeah, she's pretty cute.
VTubers put so much effort into their appearance, and people can completely fall in love with them before
VTuber spotted. VTuber.
they ever even hear their voice. The look, the aesthetic, the vibe,
Shy Lillers.
all is meant to draw people in. The design is the hook. All of this is so important because when a character looks the way they're supposed to feel, that's when the magic happens. That's when people get protective. That's when a fandom really forms.
Now I'm really glad I reacted to this because VTubers are mentioned. VTubers spotted out in the wild.
Backing off of all of that, I'd like to touch on something very quickly that gets brought up a lot in conversations like this. And that's the idea that it's just gamers that are the ones who care way too much about a character's appearance. That it's
Not
just
true.
gamers who have this problem. Like the second
No, ye old normies like this too.
someone doesn't like a design, it's suddenly gamers are just toxic and you just need to get over it. But basically,
No, I like pretty women and playing as them in games. I like to play as the pretty waifu and the pretty husbando, and I like to dress them up.
based on everything that I've said thus far, honestly, I do not think that's fair because this is a
Bro, there's no way that they could say like it's only gamers or it's only guys and not girls. Like then you see Love in Deep Space and it's like right.
thing across every genre, every medium. Everybody wants well-designed, fun, good-looking, beautiful, charismatic characters. It's how we're wired, and it's why certain characters instantly spark hype online or can aid in tanking a release before it's even out of the oven.
Very true. Very true.
Yes, I'm looking at you, Intergalactic.
I remember this. I didn't know what to think of the entire trailer. The trailer was just odd. Like, along with the character looking strange, it's like the trailer itself hit really weirdly. Like, I don't know what I was supposed to latch onto, right? Like everything about the trailer kind of felt cold and like I couldn't really find interest in it, if it makes sense. Like the entire trailer didn't really feel like there was anybody in it who had like a humanity to them. I don't know how to explain.
Now, again, I am not saying every character in a game needs to look like a supermodel, but what I am so tired of seeing is characters intentionally designed to be less appealing. When the people
Yes.
making the decisions nerf a character's looks in a way that has nothing to do with their actual background or story, they just do
True.
it just because it really makes no sense. It creates
doesn't.
unnecessary dissonance and it pulls people out of the fantasy instead of drawing them in. My last
Mhm,
note on
I
this here
agree.
is just think about celebrities. Think about how people respond to celebrities, whether they're singers or actors. How they look, their appearance is always part of the conversation.
Bro, Geralt. But yeah, like it's in normie culture too. It's so weird that we blame like only one subsect of people. Like this is just a like innately human thing. Like a completely normal opinion.
And so many times you could easily say it
Yeah, he's good looking, I guess.
even contributes to their success. Even when it technically has nothing to do with what they're known for, it somehow still does. Because that's just how humans respond to other humans.
Yeah, Rosie's not a fan of that one. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. He definitely does not look like the Lies of P character that I definitely don't simp over in 3D. Who's this girl? She's pretty.
Made that way. We
I feel like I've said this twice. I feel like I've seen this girl and not played this game, and every time I see her, I'm like, wow, pretty girl.
notice, we connect, we feel,
Mass
and
Effect,
what we
yeah.
see at the first glance
It's her again. This is like the second or third time I've been like, wow, who's this?
is the very first step of that. So, of course, while beauty is not everything, and it's certainly not a substitute for good writing, gameplay, or mechanics, it's so
Who is this one? Sorry, I'm listening, but I'm getting distracted. Who's this one? She's real pretty too. So pretty.
often our very first impression, and usually it's the first thing that really captures our attention, lets us know what a character is about, and makes
True.
us care. And this is something that has always mattered and will always matter, regardless of the medium being used to tell the
She's
story. And
absolutely
all of
right.
this is why I just do not understand why some developers keep getting it wrong. It really feels so simple. Yes, give us great gameplay, fun mechanics, a interesting and meaningful story, but then layer attractive, pretty characters on top of that to create hype around the game, grab our
Yeah.
interest, and hold our attention. All of this just makes for a much more enjoyable
Oh my god, she's so pretty.
experience. For developers who are passionate about the projects that they're making and they're doing it for the right reasons, odds are this is probably already all included. So it really is a guaranteed formula for success. And they're shooting themselves in the foot if the very first thing that we see is a bland, boring, or just unappealing protagonist or cast of characters. Sorry for
Yep.
the outfit jump scare. This is editor NPC here, and I was watching this back through and wanted to make sure I just clarified this point really well at the end. All right, I'll see myself out. Okay, thank you so much to those who
This
made
was
it to
great.
the end of this video. I'm genuinely so glad that you were here. Like I said at the start, this past week has been a bit of a whirlwind. I just want to say I appreciate
She deserves all the support, I think. Like she just has the sanest take in the like she's really well spoken.
everyone and your support so much. I still really can't wrap my head around everything that's happening, but I'm just gonna be here doing my thing like I was
Deserved.
already planning to do. So thank you again for being a part of this YouTube journey with me.
I'm really happy to see somebody that's like this uplifted. It's really nice, right? Because I feel like there's always like people try to villainize some of these really rational points, right? Like just saying like I don't understand why this character has to be unattractive or why this character can't be feminine. And people be like, "Oh, only like really mean people who only care about looks have that opinion." And then like that's not true. Like it's not so black and white and like when you have somebody like her talk about it in this way, it feels genuine and it doesn't feel like there's like an ulterior motive or that there's toxicity behind what she's saying or hatred towards a group of people or anything like that, right? It's very great. It's like a breath of fresh air and I want to see more of it.